Right, I've just opened a new sheet at the bottom here and dropped in Auckland, and I'm going to use Auckland as my example to predict for February 2018. The first column is the moving mean. I'll call it MM. And because I've got monthly data, I'll use a 12-point moving mean. I'll type in equals, average, open bracket, and highlight then the cells I want it to average, and I'll choose the first 12 months. Close bracket, enter. And then I'll re-click in the cell, click up in the toolbar, and just check that it's doing the right thing, and it is. And I've started on cell 7, or next to June, should I say, because it's in the center of those 12 months. I haven't started up here because it would have to go forward 12 months to get the same number. And then you can click on here, pull down, and check again. So it's a moving mean order 12, takes 12 values and averages them. And to scroll it to the bottom quickly, you double click on that button and it takes you all the way down to the bottom. And again, just check what's happening at the bottom here. That cell there is taken me past the bottom, so I'll actually delete the last few values because they don't make sense. And I'll also delete that one. Check again. So that's January this year, and I'm going to predict February this year. That's the one I'm going to predict here. Right, so I've done my moving mean. Now the book talks about a centered moving mean. I'm not going to confuse you with the centered moving mean, and it makes so little difference, it's not really worth talking about. But if you read the book, you'll see something called CMM for centered moving mean. And the other thing I always do is I just check it. So I highlight the cells I want to graph, insert, graph. So you've got the raw data, which is the blue line, and the smoothed data, which is the orange line. And what's supposed to have happened is the seasonality is supposed to have gone. But because Auckland anyway, because there's such a big number of rental properties, you can't see the seasonality because it's, remember, this data has all been averaged, so that there is no seasonality in Auckland. You will find seasonality in other regions where the rental market's smaller. So I'm happy that the data's somewhat been smoothed. If I zoomed in, you might see a few spikes here and there in the Auckland property market. So my prediction, if I click on the moving mean line and then right click, it should bring up this add trend line. When you first do it, you'll probably click too many times. Oh no, that worked as well. And if I just click on that trend line, or click on that orange line again, I should have down here on the right hand side clicked display equation on the chart, and there it is there. And that's going to be what I'll use to make my predictions. The X value, that's the gradient, and then the X value comes from the data number. So that's data number 1, data number 2. So you have to make a list to find out which data value I want to predict. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then double click takes me down to the one that I want. I actually want the 302nd value inserted for X. So if you typed into your calculator 0.0339 times 302 and subtract 955, you should get roughly $500 because I can see that on this graph. Now that would be my prediction for Auckland. $500 next month is the average rent in Auckland. Last week I showed you how I would add in seasonality. I haven't done that because there's no seasonality in Auckland, and there is seasonality in other graphs, in other regions. So I'll show you seasonality on a different video.